Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, this video right here, it's going to be a video where me, Brendan Taylor, True School Sports, will be giving his opinion on something in the welterweight division. A fighter in the welterweight division that with PBC having inactive fighters, with Manny Pacquiao coming back against Jesse Vargas. There's a fighter who's very decorated, very accomplished, one of the best fighters of this era, and quite frankly, he doesn't get enough credit when being spoken about. But a guy who's been lost in the shuffle that I want to do a video about is a guy named Timothy Desert Storm Bradley, future Hall of Famer. Now, Timothy Bradley, when you look at his resume, his resume is to be, very applauded. Had the fight of the year with Ruslan Barbanikov, beat him, beat the likes of Devin Alexander, Lamont Peterson, Nate Campbell, Kendall Holt, Edner Cherry, Marquez. He beat Chavez, but they robbed him. Should have got the decision there. Beat Jesse Vargas when he was undefeated. First guy to stop Brandon Rios. Just a really quality resume. And with Bob Arum, because we've heard it before, we never really know what these promoters are going to do, because a lot of it's just lip service to publications and boxing fans. But it's always good to keep things in context. So Bob Arum, he could always go back on as well, like any other promoter in boxing. But he said not too long ago that he's planning on potentially taking these fighters over to Showtime, which does open up the door for him to start making fights with some of his fighters with Al Haymon fighters. Matching his guys up with some of Al Haymon's guys, and that would be amazing. That would open up so many great matchups in boxing, and I wanted to talk about that as well, because that's what Timothy Bradley is going to need to continue proving himself as one of the best fighters in the game, because that's what I think he is. I still think with the new crop of guys we have, the younger guys like the Earl Spences, the Porters, the Kell Brooks, the Thurman, the Amir Khans, Jesse Vargas, as far as the top 10 goes, Frankie Gomez, I still think that Timothy Bradley is a top 3 welterweight easily, because of number one, the only guy that's ever beat Timothy Bradley is arguably, you could argue this, if we go by the criteria what pound for pound was created for, arguably the best pound for pound fighter who ever lived, meaning Manny Pacquiao, who moved up weight classes, dominated guys, and for his size did unprecedented things in boxing. He lost to that guy 3 times, twice on black and white paper, but really it's 3 times. But other than that, he's been beating all you guys. And to be honest, outside of, I'm going to say this, I think outside of Earl Spence and Kell Brook, I think Timothy Bradley, Earl Spence, Kell Brook, and Manny Pacquiao, because he's lost Pacquiao. So outside of Earl Spence and Kell Brook and Manny Pacquiao, I think he beats all, and I mean all, of the PBC welterweights. I think he beats Sean Porter. I think he would beat Keith Thurman. I just don't think Keith Thurman, because we saw what a durable guy like Collazo, who isn't necessarily the hardest puncher, was able to do with Thurman. I think Timothy Bradley would really, now, especially if he's still working with Teddy Atlas, and they do another camp together. I think a third camp under Teddy Atlas, he's a better fighter now than he was. I honestly think so, from the standpoint of getting more leverage on his shot. But that's why he was able to hurt Rios, because Teddy Atlas has taught him to get more leverage on his punches, and that's what made him great and better in that fight. Didn't do well against Pacquiao, but Pacquiao's always been a hard style for him to deal with, and he's never beat Pacquiao. So, but Porter, I think he beats Porter. Just too much boxing skill for Porter, too much heart and durability for Keith Thurman. To be honest, I think he'd beat Amir Khan. Amir Khan, big fan of his as well. Great fighter. A lot of people probably pick Amir Khan in that fight. I'd actually go with Bradley. I just think Bradley, the ring IQ, ring experience, and I just think he has a bigger heart than Amir. To be honest with you, Amir has a lot of heart. There's that fight. I think he beats Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia would not know how to deal. We saw Danny Garcia, how hard it was for him to deal with Lon Peterson, a guy who is also very durable like Bradley, but Bradley's just another level of just as far as like durability. His durability separates him from a lot of fighters, in my opinion. The only two guys that I would have a hard time picking Bradley against that are in the welterweight division not named Pacquiao would be Kell Brook and Errol Spence, just due to their size and in the case of Errol Spence, body punching. But like even against Errol Spence, I might even lean towards Bradley just because of the ring experience, and if Errol stopped him, that'd be a huge testament to Errol, because Provodnikov couldn't even stop Timothy Bradley. Pacquiao couldn't even stop Bradley, so it would be a huge credit to Errol. But I just want to make this video because I don't want you boxing fans out there to lose sight of this guy, a guy who didn't have it easy coming up, who came up the hard way, who was in the Fight of the Year candidates, was a guy that just proved himself time and time again. And I think he would beat a lot of these PBC guys, honestly, to be honest with you, because a lot of these guys, they haven't really fought anybody like Timothy Bradley. And hopefully, I really do hope Showtime does start working with Bob Arum and top-ranked fighters, because I want to see some of these Heyman and top-ranked guys get matched up, especially for Timothy Bradley, so he can continue to prove that he's a top 3 welterweight and one of the best fighters of this era, because that's what he is. Definitely a future Hall of Famer, a guy who really hasn't had too many soft touches in his career, if any. We'll see what happens, man. But yeah, I just want to get this out there about Timothy Desert Storm Bradley. I think he'd beat Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. I'd probably give him a slight edge even over Errol Spence. Maybe not against Kell Brook, but definitely against Errol Spence, just because Errol Spence's defense isn't that tight. And obviously Pacquiao would beat him again, honestly, because Pacquiao's beat him 3 times. Why? What would change this time? But you guys let me know what you think. Timothy Bradley, I think, beats most PBC welterweights. What do you think? Do you think he beats the crop of PBC welterweights? And if he doesn't, let me know in the comments which ones he doesn't beat, and yeah, just all that good stuff. So let me know what you think. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.